Right, and welcome along to the AFTV Tactical Insight Show with my man Graham. You know what? People have been saying that you're not getting my handshakes right, so we're just...
You can do that today.
And also, you know, I've got a bit of a cold today. I don't know if you can hear, I'm a bit stuffed up. Got absolutely soaked at that Leicester game. It was pouring down with rain. Got absolutely soaked in Portugal as well. For what? I asked myself. What for? To see another Arsenal defeat and another really insipid performance, wasn't it? There was little moments in the game where, you know, we had the disallowed goal, which was definitely offside. We had a few little moments where it, but again, just poor, you know what I mean? Dominated by Leicester, and no disrespect to Leicester, but I was watching that game with Manchester City and Liverpool, and to see two teams going toe to toe. I know, you know, Liverpool won, but City didn't change their principles. City still had the similar formations. City still went for it. And had they have got that penalty and, you know, had they have taken a few of their chances, it could have been a different game. But at the moment, it just seems like Arsenal, we're becoming those teams that used to come to the Emirates that just park the bus or, you know, or overthinking it. I mean, what did you make of Saturday?
First of all, what did I make of Sunday? I thought that was a great advert for the Premier League. Liverpool, Man City, a fantastic game of football. First of all, we talk about Saturday's performance. I've got to say, Jose Mourinho.
Don't start that one.
I've got to pull you up.
Mo was getting really upset with me on Saturday.
The one thing you know is, if there's anyone who dislikes Jose Mourinho more than me, it's Mo. You certainly pushed his buttons on Saturday night.
But you've got to put the question to people. You've got to ask them the question: would Jose Mourinho do a better job than what we're seeing at the moment from Unai Emery with these players? I look around the team, right? Lacazette, Aubameyang, Ozil, Bellerin, Kolasinac, Holding, Luiz, Leno, you know, Torreira, Guendouzi.
Look,
why are we so bad?
It looks broken. It looks absolutely broken. Now, he flipped on Saturday to a 3 at the back, a 3-4-1-2, and we have evidence that he might do that when he went with that formation in Portugal.
Yeah. So, and how did that work?
It wasn't great.
Right, I think we only got into their box once. There was that graphic, did you see it?
Yeah.
Where we only made one decisive pass into their box, and that came from a set piece, and we scored.
Yeah. So it wasn't great in Portugal, but you knew he was going to play it at Leicester. I even tweeted it out on Saturday that he was going to flip to a back 3, and he did. But I think we've gone, as I tweeted out as well, we've gone from a manager who basically didn't give a shit about the opposition and played to our strengths, to a manager to the complete opposite. A manager who's so obsessed with the opposition that he just sets up to nullify them, which takes away all our strengths. And that's what we got. That's why he flipped to a 3-4-1-2. I think he was very worried about Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy's pace in behind Robbie. I think Rodgers has built the team around Vardy. And I think he did something. I think Leicester are where we are, were under Claude Puel, where we are under Unai Emery. Because last year, these players, I know he's made 1 or 2 additions, but it's the same team.
It was the same team, and Claude Puel, remember, he had them playing very defensively. Yeah. I remember listening to all the Leicester fans moaning about the formations, moaning about the lack of shots. Vardy was having a terrible season. He was ineffective.
He was playing Vardy. Vardy now is the whole team's built around Vardy. Vardy last year was being a bit like Aubameyang and Lacazette playing out wide. He was in different formations. He was changing the shape a lot. And it wasn't working for Leicester. So what do? They ditch Puel, I can't say that name, Puel, and bring in Brendan Rodgers, who has immediately identified the strength in the team, how to set it up to get the best out of the team. And he's gone with this 4-1-4-1 shape where he's a key player, and we'll talk about him in this show. Indeed, absolutely magnificent on Saturday, man of the match. And then he's got his 2 fullbacks who bomb on in that direction, Chilwell and Pereira, with Ndidi sitting. And we've got these 2 centre-halves here who basically are solid. And then he's got his 2 creators here, Maddison and Tielemans in the centre mid. And he's got wide forwards, Perez and Barnes. But the whole team's built around Vardy. So you always think, well, Arsenal have got almost like the same sort of player as Vardy and Aubameyang.
Yeah.
We could easily build our team around Aubameyang, but we don't, because the manager just keeps flipping formations. And this was his 6th formation change in 13 Premier League games, Robbie. 6 Premier
Nearly
League.
half of them.
Yeah, 6 changes in 13 Premier League games. I think he's played a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3, a 4-3-1-2, a 4-4-2 diamond, and the traditional 4-4-2. Now he's gone to a 3-4-1-2. Now, what does that tell the players every game when they're going out onto that pitch? Different formation today. I'm being asked to do a different role, and footballers are just like everybody else. If you do something day in, day out, you just get comfortable in doing that. And every time you're being asked to change, they probably look at this thinking, questioning what they're going to do in this setup. And I think it showed. I thought on Saturday, I was watching the game, and I thought for 60 minutes, to be honest with you, we were reasonably okay in the shape. We sort of were more compact than we've been over the last few games. But I think to make this 3-4-1-2 work, when you play 3 at the back, you need 2 things. You need progressive passing out from the back from these 3 centre-halves. Louise was obviously passing forward a lot, but I did notice that Chambers and Holding were always going sideways. If you looked at the pitch maps after the game, and that reflected that Chambers and Holding were continually passing sideways or back to Leno. It wasn't forward passing.
And a lot of time when they get the ball, though, it's out to them. It's so slow.
Yeah, that's another thing I was going to say.
The press is already upon them, so they have to go back. So
I was going to come on to that. What you also need, you need progressive passing out from the back from your 3 ball players out, and then you need intensity and aggressive running off the ball, Robbie, from these players here. I think you want Torreira to sort of like move in as protection, but I think you want Guendouzi to push on next to Ozil.
He had a poor game, Guendouzi.
He was poor, and we'll highlight the mistake in the goal that he made. But I think that we didn't have any of those qualities. No intensity, no quality from balls out from the back, no aggressive running off the ball. We played Aubameyang and Lacazette as split strikers again. Ozil was more the false 9, and I think.
Why do you need a false 9?
No.
You got a 9 here. You got a 9 there. You got 2 players battling out to be a 9.
Well,
and you go and play a false 9. How does that make sense?
The reason why he played that. Excuse me, I dropped my pen, Bobby. The reason he played that was purely because Ozil can't press or track back. So I think he wants Lacazette and Aubameyang. Ozil obviously not so good at it to come forward, and Aubameyang and Lacazette to trap these fullbacks, and that's what we saw in the game. He's
more worried about the opposition than trying to impose himself on other teams. Is what I've been saying for weeks, and we see it with some of these stats that you've got. I mean, 8 shots, only 1 on target, right? Only 1 shot on target the whole game. And what was you saying earlier about Aubameyang?
In his last 3 games for Arsenal, he's had 3 shots at goal.
Jesus. And this is a guy that got the golden boot last season, and we're not feeding him nothing. He's not even getting the ball. Lacazette is getting the ball out. I couldn't understand it. They're getting the ball out wide. And then when they get the ball out now, they're being doubled up on. And then they're passing it into the box for Ozil. How does that make sense? They're the guys that are going to get you the goals.
Well, I think that I'm going to look at what Emery's game plan was for the team off the ball, and I'll talk about what we did on the ball. Now, off the ball, I thought his plan was clear, right? He clearly wanted, I think, Lacazette and Aubameyang to be conscious of the runs of Chilwell and Pereira forward. That's why they played wide. So what he did in that first 20 minutes, I don't know if you noticed, was every time Schmeichel got the ball, Schmeichel would maybe look to go out to Chilwell or to Pereira.
There was no press, by the way.
No press.
We let them have it in their box.
Yeah, but we haven't got players who can press. I've got no.
Lacazette can press.
Listen, I think
Aubameyang can press. He used to do it when he was at Dortmund.
But we don't press collectively.
Yeah, right? But that's what his job as
he's abandoned
the coach. That's his job, right? Lacazette can press.
He's abandoned.
We've seen it loads of times. Lacazette press players into errors, and as I said, Aubameyang can press. Remember, I was watching his 50 goals the other day. Remember that one where he pressed the keeper?
Yeah.
And the keeper kicked it out. Watford, Foster kicked it out onto him, and it went in. He can press.
Yeah.
He used to press at Dortmund under Klopp.
Yeah.
Right. One of the teams that was one of the first teams to be doing that. They can do it, right? And then his job is the head coach, not even manager. He hasn't even got to worry about manager duties. Head coach. He's got to be, like you said, day in, day out, drilling these guys to do that.
And that's what he set off with his vision last year. We were trying to press at the...
Now we don't press.
We don't press. He's obviously decided that we can't press. Now, if you can't press, I suppose you've got to sit deeper. As long as you're compact, I think you can not press. So I think his plan was to give the two centre-halves the ball, and basically with Lacazette to push on to Chilwell and Aubameyang to push on to Pereira, to stop them playing out through the fullbacks and give these two centre-halves, who are probably not great ball players, the ball at central defence. His next plan was for Guendouzi and Torreira to push on to Maddison and Tielemans to deny them space in central midfield. And obviously Bellerin and Kolasinac, their job was to take care of the wide forwards. And then I think where we got it slightly wrong was that obviously we flipped to that 5-4-1 out of possession, where Bellerin and Kolasinac dropped back and Lacazette dropped back and Aubameyang dropped back into the 4. But they were still able, with Pereira's speed, because I think Leicester are a quicker team than us. They move the ball quicker than us. They've got more physical players than us. They move the ball quicker than us, and they got a lot of 2v1 situations. They targeted this side again, Kolasinac's side. Kolasinac and Holding. I thought Holding had a poor game on Saturday. Kolasinac, who I didn't think was bad defensively as he has been, but Pereira and Perez were often getting 2v1 situations, and we had crosses flashing across our box in that first 20 minutes. Chambers, who was probably, I thought, our best defender of the three, he made a couple of good interceptions. So the danger was there in the first 20 minutes. And Leicester were pushing. They had probably a clear penalty. Clear penalty for a tug.
Yeah.
By
Guendouzi.
Yeah. Who panicked in that situation. Comes over to the back stick and he panics and he pulls at him. That should have been a penalty. And obviously Maddison went close with the free kick, but they had other insightful sort of situations where they could have scored. In contrast, we didn't create a lot, but we did miss that massive big chance with Lacazette.
Lacazette should have scored that. Should have scored that.
And that was
should we also have had a penalty there as well? I thought that was handball. Where in the build-up to that, was it Ndidi?
On the floor, yeah.
That's handball.
By the letter of the law, you could say it was handball. But
it was handball. He
was on the ground. I think it just flicked off his hand. I mean,
I thought that was a handball. I really did.
Harsh.
Yeah, it was VAR, isn't it? So you saw it yesterday, you know.
No, that was a penalty.
But I forget VAR, forget handballs. We're not creating enough, Graham. We're not creating anything in games.
And I said to you when I come in this morning that we need to play more on the front foot.
Of course.
If Leicester are Messi in their ranks or Ronaldo in their ranks, I think those top elite players...
Yeah, you understand it. If we go to... that was exactly the point I was making on Saturday, right, to people, right, is that if we went to Manchester City and we play this, I understand. If we go to Liverpool and we play this, I understand, right, because those teams are better than us. Leicester are better than us, but you know what I'm saying, right? But what about us imposing our game on teams? What about us lining up and saying, right, Aubameyang, Lacazette, right, Pepe, and Ozil? So our team thinks, we better be on it today because that's 4 quality players up front. But he's scared every time to do that. He's scared to impose himself on teams. Right, I knew that he weren't going to play Pepe as soon as he played in the game during the week. And my other argument on the whole leaving out Pepe thing, right, in these games is that if you actually look at the last 3 games Pepe's played, whilst maybe he's not contributed a lot, you know, in getting the ball, and that's because half of the time he's not getting the ball in good positions, as we've discussed. His set-piece delivery from corners has been brilliant. That's led to 2 goals in the game against Palace. He had those 2 free kicks that he scored in the game against Victoria when we come back from 2-1 to beat him at home. And in the game against Victoria the other night, the only bit of quality in the game was his delivery from that set-piece that Mustafi scored from, which was brilliant. But we don't play him. And we're playing this tight formation where we're not going to get a lot of chances, and you still don't play him. And I just don't understand what the manager is thinking about at the moment. It just seems, this doesn't seem like an Arsenal team. I think your analogy is perfect. It is like we've got Puel. It was exactly the same things I heard Leicester fans moan about last year. they've gone in and brought in a progressive manager and with the exact same players. Yeah?
Yeah.
The only player they brought in really is Perez, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? It's the exact same players. They are now playing a completely different brand of football, exciting football. And we have got Claude Puel. We're playing boring football. We're worried about the opposition. We're overthinking it. And we've got exciting players. He's exciting. Bellerin's exciting. Tierney. What's that? What? He can't play. You see, I was watching that game with Liverpool, the way Trent Alexander-Arnold whipping balls into the box. Yeah. Tierney's can do that.
Yeah.
But we don't want to play him because we're scared of... And like you said, you know, Harvey Barnes, Maddison, Tielemans, Perez, good players. Vardy, top player, right? But like you said, it's not Ronaldo, it's not Messi.
Yeah,
I just don't understand what's going on now.
The point I was trying to make there was if a team's got a quality player, a real world-class player, like a Messi or a Ronaldo, I think you have to have plans for that player. You maybe have to man-mark a player like that. We talked about Mourinho at the start of the show. When he came up against Hazard last year, he always man-marked him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Or when he was at Man United, whenever he was at Man United a couple of years ago. He always man-marked Hazard because he saw him as a threat. So if there's an individual player, you might want to take care of an individual player, but to build your whole system around what they're going to do leads you in a position where you can only play one way, and then if it goes wrong, you're struggling sometimes to retrieve a situation. Now, what I would say is, what I would like to have seen, I wanted Aubameyang one-on-one with Evans.
Yeah,
I want Aubameyang.
Evans who's not very quick.
Evans is not very quick. So let's try and get...
Sionku's not the lightning quick, is he?
But we got a pacey... Like they've got Vardy, they're trying to get in behind. Yeah. And we were obsessed by Vardy. We put line of three, almost like to take care of Vardy, didn't we?
Yeah. And you know what Vardy... Everybody knows that Vardy is ineffective unless you get the ball in behind. That's what they do.
Because what Leicester had on Saturday was they had overloads in midfield. As much as they were getting 2-by-1s in wide areas, they frequently had overloads because we were playing three centre-halves. And I think sometimes a centre-half has to step out, one of those, rely on two to take care of Vardy, and then one push on. So, but they were creating sort of like overloads in wide areas, they had the extra man in midfield. But let's give them a problem, right? Let's play the football in their half. Let's ask their defence some questions. Instead of us sort of so worried about Chilwell and Pereira bombing on, let's push them back. Let's get players up the pitch to force them to to get them, instead of us sort of like laggers at Aubameyang tracking back to worried about their runs. Let's get our forward players pushing onto them so they can't make runs back. It's all about sometimes playing football in to suit your strengths where the opposition don't want you to play it. And I think that we were sort of so set up negatively that we were sort of like just so obsessed with what they were going to do. And so all the football was being played in our half. If you look at the stats, right, they had 19 shots to our 8. We only had 1 on target. They had 5 corners to our 4. Passing, there's not a great deal of difference actually, but I think when you look at the heat maps, they had more crosses into our box than we had into theirs.
This stat here.
And that is absolutely damning, isn't it?
No shot on goal after 53 minutes.
Arsenal. And we went behind in the 60th minute. Can I talk about that goal? That goal, because there were a lot of things wrong with that goal from our point of view defensively. And it was almost like people were saying that was an Arsenal-like goal, the way they worked it, because it was intricate passing, one touch, pass and move. Barnes peeling off, and then to flick it in off Tielemans, and then Vardy pulling off Chambers. But we did 3 things wrong in that goal. Guendouzi is here, and I think it's the player is Barnes. He doesn't track his run. Barnes comes across here, and by the time he's ball watching, and so he gets ahead of him. He doesn't track his run, so that's the problem with that. And then Chambers allows Vardy to peel off him at the back stick. Vardy's over here, waiting for the ball. Chambers is actually there, but he's not watching Vardy peel off him. And then I think Bellerin, another thing. Bellerin didn't get. He comes out, he gets attracted to the ball. So Bellerin gets attracted to the ball. Barnes and Tielemans work the opening. Vardy peels off, and they score the goal.
Great goal. He's sharp as a razor at the moment. Vardy, you've got to give him credit.
Yeah.
Top goal scorer in the league. He's playing, but like we said. Last year, he was so poor because he was being played in a poor system and the manager was not playing to his strengths. And do you think, Graham, right? I mean, the other stats you had here, Arsenal under Emery, was it last night in Premier League games, 24 points out of a possible 57 you put here.
Yeah.
What's that? Would finish.
Well, if we got our last 19 Premier League games this calendar year, we've got 24 points. So if that was over a season, 38 games, it would be 48 points. And normally you get in the Champions League places, what 68, 70, is it?
Win percentage of only 33%.
That's the worst win percentage of any manager since the year George Graham got sacked. 29% George Graham's win rate that year. He's now down to 33. And this is our worst start since 1982-83 when Terry Neal was manager. So
We've only won one away game this season.
2. Newcastle and Watford.
We didn't win Watford. It was a draw.
Oh, this season. Sorry, I thought you meant this calendar year.
I mean, this season.
Oh, this season.
Not one. One.
No, we've only got 2 clean sheets this calendar year. That's the point I'm making. Watford and Newcastle. One away win this season. So what's lacking in this team? I said to you before I started, I watched Wilfred Ndidi on Saturday, and
he's a good player.
He's everything our midfield lacks and needed on Saturday. And I think sometimes when you go away from home, if you're going to play 2 strikers, particularly, we want to play them because they're goal scorers. I think the one thing you do need is you need a real physical presence in central midfield who can break the play.
When Torreira came in, and we know he's not physical, right? But when he came in, he was doing so well. You know what I mean? He was breaking up play, he was distributing the ball well. You know, he does that for Uruguay. He was doing it for Sampdoria. He was doing it for us when he first came in. And mysteriously, he's just been dropped out of the team all the time. I don't know what's going on. And then Guendouzi's not that guy, is he? Guendouzi, I think, needs to be further. He can be a deep line player, but he's a box-to-box guy more, isn't he?
I think Guendouzi's form has dipped in the last few games as a result.
He's a young player, isn't he?
He's going to be
20.
inconsistent. He's going to be inconsistent.
19, 20?
I think Torreira is struggling to recapture the form because he's been played around with so much.
He's been handled badly, you know what I mean? One minute he's playing up there, up top. Then he's been played, you know what I mean? Just play the guy in his position. And we have to ask the question now, Graham, is it time to change this manager? Because everything's kind of pointing towards it's not working. Right? And, you know, I look at the team and I look at our squad. This is the best squad we've had for a while. Even you looked at the bench, it's a decent bench. Yeah, there's frailties in certain areas, but we should be doing a lot better than this.
To answer that question, I just want to highlight Wilfred Ndidi, right? This was his stats on Saturday. 54 touches, 19 passes in the opposition half, 7 tackles, 5 recoveries, 3 interceptions, and 2 clearances. Now, he is the type of physical midfield player our team is crying out for. We've never addressed it. Torreira is a good DM, but he's not of the quality of this guy, in my opinion, right? The other thing I want to highlight is, and I know you've got a different opinion to me on this one, I don't think we got a pacey, dominant centre-half. Louise, who we bought, is not the answer. I think we lack somebody who's speedy, who can make recoveries. That's why the defence sits so deep. You reckon Socrates is speedy?
He is speedy.
I don't think he's
not a dominant centre-half, but he's not the top quality, but he is quick.
So in answer to your question...
That's why I was surprised when I saw the lineup and I didn't see him in there, and I know they got Vardy. I was kind of surprised because he can match Vardy for pace.
In answer to your question, we've got quality in this squad, quality in this team, and these players are not playing to their potential. But I honestly believe that we're not quite as good as we could be because of some of the poor recruitment. The poor recruitment, and I think this goes back further than Emery. It goes back into the Wenger time. We recruited badly. We didn't address our defensive issues. Wenger didn't do that. We didn't buy the right quality centre-backs, and we haven't bought well in midfield. I think our midfield, if you look at their midfield compared to ours, I think there's more quality in their midfield, in Leicester's midfield. And I just think we haven't. So although we've got these quality forwards, Lacazette and Aubameyang, Ozil, who, that's another thing, he was out of favour, he's just come back into favour. What does it say about the manager? I think the thing is, it looks broken, Robbie. It looks absolutely broken under this manager.
What's the point in recruiting players, right? We recruited, Tierney, don't play him.
Pepe, don't play him.
Pepe, we don't play him. What's the point? And the point, we may as well go back to Wenger days and just bring in a keeper, bring in Czech, and that's it. Because, we're recruiting players and we ain't even bothering to play them. What's the point?
I just don't think that we're moving the ball quick enough. There's not enough
Too slow.
Yeah, too slow. Not enough one-touch passing.
Which we've been known for over the years.
So I don't think that our on-the-ball play is good enough at the moment. Because he's so obsessed with off the ball. But off the ball, I don't think at times we're compact enough. There's one thing we did you see the stat at the weekend on the Premier League? We are the shots against us. There's only Norwich and Aston Villa had more shots at them this season than Arsenal.
Norwich and Villa.
Villa have about 230 shots at them. Norwich 207 and Arsenal something like 197.
With all these stats, Graham, does he stay or go for you?
I think he has to go. I hate to say it. When he first came in, he got us pressing from the front. That was one thing that he said he would implement. Passing out from the back, right? Which it was one thing that those two things he's abandoned. He had Torreira at number 6 and a pivot. That's now gone. And he was playing a 4-2-3-1 system with Ozil. So all the things that he started with, the things he was doing well last year, he's abandoned. We got to the end of last season. We should have made the Champions League. Right, we were in a great position. We fell away. The Palace result was the start of the decline. It carried on into that final where we were absolutely hammered by Chelsea. And this season, we just haven't arrested the slide. I just think it looks absolutely broken under him. This is a real test for Real and for Edu, for Snelly and Edu, because they have got to be decisive. Right, when they came in, they said they would be really decisive over players' contracts, not allowing them to get into the last year of their contract. And I do believe they will be that. But if they can't see what all the fans can see, and it's no good sort of like I've seen on social media today, sort of like comments coming out, instead of addressing the problems on the pitch and all that, they're talking about troops and his relationship with Aubameyang.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't the club that said about Troops. Okay. It's Journo.
Journo. Yeah,
so maybe make Troops manager.
Back again.
They're so fearful of Troops. Maybe make Troops a manager. But he couldn't do any worse.
No, but I just think it looks broken under Emery, and I do think, although they said that the messages coming out yesterday, I don't know how true they were, quite disturbing, worrying. That they said he's got to the end of the season.
I've heard he's got till the end of the season. I've heard he's got until the Southampton game, which that would be no marker if he won that game, because we always beat Southampton at home. All I know is that I think,
can you see it improve?
As you said, the Puel thing, and they brought in Brendan Rodgers and look what he's done. I think we're at the same stage here. I agree with you. What do you guys think out there? Do you think it's time up for Unai Emery? What do you think of his tactics? Do you think it's just the players? He just hasn't got the players to play any of the systems that he's trying to play. Surely this team's better than what we're seeing right now. But I'd like to get your point of view on it. Leave it in the comments below. But another defeat on the road for Arsenal. We're in an international break, and at the moment, it's just not good.